We've come to know Cobra Kai's Sam as honest and kind, but when you look a little bit closer, you'll find that she has some villainous traits too. Although Cobra Kai was sold to audiences as a new generation Karate Kid, the story is at its heart brand new. It is full of teenage characters, and each has his or her coming-of-age storylines and challenges. In this video, we'll explore why Sam is a villain, not just a nice girl, and we'll be doing that through 10 quotes. Stay with us. First up, I'm a teenager and I make mistakes. This quote comes from Season 4, Episode 3, and it's not the first part of the quote that has a villainous undercurrent. It's what she says next. You're over 50 and you live alone, drink all day, and you haven't figured out your own life. Ouch! It's not this part of the quote that proves Sam is a villain. It's what she said after it. You're a 50-something-year-old man who lives alone, drinks all day, and clearly hasn't figured out his own life. She was speaking these words to Johnny Lawrence, of course. I'm coming for you, This was another scorcher that first came out of Tori's mouth, but don't forget that Sam said it right back later on, and in this, she was in the right. Just consider what Tori did to her. It was the timing that sucked though. When Tori came back to school, Sam told her she was not in control. Sam is. Sam also helped her back into school, and Tori had heard this. But Sam's unforgiving, vengeful side was on full display when she told Tori in no uncertain terms that Tori's parents may fall for her nonsense. But, said Sam, if Tori so much as gives her a funny look, she'll get a third whipping. Remember the coward accusation? Sam showed real disrespect in this scene, but stay with us. We'll bring you that in a moment. And what about, I should have rather hung out with Yasmine? Sam told Aisha they were best friends, and she also said she was sorry for abandoning Aisha. While this was good, it was also a stark reminder of Sam's actions. Her new group of friends were all cool, and while she was reveling in this new circle, she started paying less attention to Aisha. And Sam didn't step up when the new friends started bullying and making fun of Aisha. She didn't want to upset the new crowd and simply hung back. So she's not all good. Remember when she said, I didn't respect you by giving you the time to go and find yourself? Once Miguel leaves the All Valley tournament to go to Mexico, he hopes to find Hector, his father. As it turns out, Hector is probably the least likable Season 5 character. Sam was upset, and understandably so, but instead of paying attention to what Miguel was going through, she focused on herself and was miffed that he had left during their most important tournament. Later, she had an opportunity to dig the knife in even deeper, and she used it. She broke up with Miguel because it would leave her free to do what she wanted in the tournament. She then adds the following line, I also need that time now. She was looking out for herself, and that's fine, but she paid no attention to Miguel's needs, and that wasn't okay. Also, the famous, because you are a coward. This line comes from Episode 9 of Season 5. Tori was coming out with the truth, and that was worthy of Sam's respect. But when Tori said Sam didn't technically lose the tournament, Sam snapped at her. She was reacting from an emotionally stressed place and even attempted to fight Tori. And then she questioned why Tori had waited so long to come out with the truth. Sam was spinning emotionally at that time, and when she saw Miguel kissing someone else, she reacted. She was unsure of her decision to break up with Miguel, and those feelings were projected onto Tori. The long and the short of it is Tori tried to patch things up, and Sam turned into a villain. In Season 2, Episode 10, Tori said, you know what you did, and now you'll pay for it. Sure, Tori took things beyond the line of decency when she attacked Sam and left her with scars and injuries. She blames Miguel for the kiss, but she was equally guilty, perhaps even more than Sam. But the fact remains that Sam was wrong to kiss Miguel, especially while he was with someone else. The fact that they clearly had strong feelings for each other doesn't matter. This is probably one of the reasons Miguel and Sam never became fast friends in Cobra Kai. Her actions may have been perceived as genuine, but they were still an enormous betrayal. Tori makes a real distinction between the kids that have money and the kids that have to work for money, and this creates all kinds of tension. Keep watching, we're bringing you that shortly. And do you remember, "And I thought you weren't any good at fighting"? This one is from episode 8 in season 4. Sam is angry with Tori, and she has every right to be, but Sam should have taken a step back. Tori was singing at a kid's party, and Sam should have asked herself why Tori would have to take such a job to begin with. Tori was struggling, but this never dawned on Sam. Not once did she take a moment to consider Tori's home life. This is probably because she'd never had to struggle, but when Sam intentionally embarrasses Tori when she is vulnerable, she was taking the whole thing too far. In episode 7 of season 3 comes the quote, "Miguel, Robby, see where they are now. The whole thing is your fault." Sam knew she was no angel, but this was a quote from Tori, and it was said in Sam's dream. She felt uber guilty for blowing Miguel off to spend time with Robby. If that hadn't happened, there would have been a love triangle between them, and more importantly, Tori would not have been caught in the middle. While these words were said in a dream sequence, it was a pure manifestation of Sam's guilt over the way things turned out for Robby and Miguel. Robby went to jail, and Miguel was almost paralyzed, and Sam felt she was the instigator. Then, Tori says, "All of these Encino kids have their whole lives on a silver spoon." Tori says this to Robby. She's speaking about Sam and a bunch of the other kids at school, and she was right. Sam never stopped for a moment to ask why Tori was doing all these jobs. She never wondered why Tori worked at kids' parties, a Chinese restaurant, and a roller skating rink. Sam never needed to work a day in her life. She had no bills to pay and could be a teenager without any stress. She had a country club membership, fancy meals, a car, and luxuries like a pool. All of these made her oblivious to the plight of other kids. Sam's ignorance in this regard makes her a real villain. And one of the most delicious twists in season 5, Carmen is pregnant. To see what that is about, watch until the end of this video. Now, a couple of season 5 plot twists. Cobra Kai's 5th season seems to be ramping up to the conclusion of the series. Characters from the past are making a current debut, and new characters are aligning with Cobra Kai. There are plenty of twists in the plot lines. Characters betray each other, old enemies redeem themselves, and secrets shatter the worlds of a few characters. Let's look at a couple. Devin defects. This was one of the biggest plot twists that appeared in the season 5 Cobra Kai trailers, and fans are now buzzing with all kinds of questions. It turns out Devin wasn't ever a mole for Eagle Fang. This was one of the biggest fan theories. She wanted to learn strength, and that's why she joined Cobra Kai. Remember, Devin never had a real reason to ally with Eagle Fang. She has no ill will against them because she considered them the best. It's interesting to note that she saw Tori's strength, and this was what inspired her to join, not bribery. Hawk loses to Kenny this season. Eli is mentally in a great place and takes the gold home for Eagle Fang. Miguel and Robby agree to challenge Eli this season and agree Eli should be their representative in the makeshift Cobra Kai match. Kenny, the upstart, ends up defeating Hawk, and he uses a ruthlessly effective technique to accomplish this victory. But Eli responds by brushing it off and simply training harder. Meanwhile, Mitch is the mole. Mitch has had enough of being called piss breath over many seasons. He is green with envy over the lifestyles of Cobra Kai, and he eventually decides to defect. But this was short-lived. Within minutes of revealing his betrayal, Cobra Kai implodes completely. The dynamic of next season, when he will be trying to get in Eagle Fang's good books again, is set in this betrayal. That should be exciting viewing. Stingray always seemed to try a little too hard. He was seen as a coward because because he beat kids, and we all know it is because he was also bullied as a kid. But in Season 5, his character develops nicely, and it shows exactly the kind of trauma Terry Silver's cruelty caused. He hints at the kind of beating he took from Silver. If you haven't seen it, the scene is incredibly somber, and he finally has the opportunity to redeem himself when he exposes Terry Silver's criminality and saves Daniel in a fight. Finally, Carmen is pregnant. When Johnny returns from Mexico, Carmen is constantly sick. That plants the seed with both of them that she may be pregnant. Johnny's bumbling as he attempts to baby-proof his apartment is nothing but charming, and he does all of this to prove his ability to be a good and responsible father to Carmen. At least a better father than he'd been to Robby. This twist is fantastic because it unites Robby and Miguel even more. They are family now, after all. But seeing the two bros dealing with a new baby in the house, we'll have to wait and see how they handle that. And that, folks, is how we end this video. Remember to hit subscribe, like, and follow, and keep your eyes open for our next contribution.